Welcome back to the third installment of our high-end Decor Dupe series, where we continue our mission to bring luxury aesthetics into your home for a fraction of the cost. In this video, we're diving into new projects that bridge the gap between designer showrooms and budget-friendly crafting. Please keep in mind that while we strive for the lowest price points possible, total costs may vary depending on your local thrift finds, dollar store price adjustments, or where you source your raw materials. Our primary intention is to provide you with the foundational inspiration and basic instructions needed to kickstart your creativity. We hope you'll take these ideas as a starting point and feel empowered to adapt them into your own unique, one-of-a-kind designs. To transform a basic plastic rabbit into a high-end pottery piece, start by thoroughly cleaning your Dollar Tree bunny with a damp cloth to remove any dust or adhesive residue that might prevent the texture from sticking. Once dry, create your stone mixture by blending 3 tablespoons of lightweight spackling with a generous squeeze of white acrylic paint and a tiny pin-sized drop of black paint to achieve a soft, sophisticated greige or concrete tone. For that authentic, expensive grit found in upscale boutiques, stir in a teaspoon of baking soda until the mixture is thick and slightly sandy. Using a stiff bristled brush or a small sponge, apply the mixture to the bunny using a dabbing or pouncing motion rather than smooth strokes. This technique is the secret to mimicking the uneven surface of real cast stone or weathered cement. After the base coat has dried completely, which you can speed up with a hairdryer if you're impatient, perform a dry brush technique by dipping a clean brush into plain white paint and wiping almost all of it off onto a paper towel. Lightly flick the nearly dry bristles over the bunny's ears, nose, and tail to highlight the texture and give the piece a multi-dimensional, aged appearance. Finally, finish the look by wrapping a length of jute twine or a thin cream ribbon twice around the neck, tying it into a simple, elegant bow to complete your $5 designer dupe. Painting your bunny figurine with a solid base coat of cream or white acrylic paint. If the bunny is slick plastic, a light sanding or a coat of primer will help the paint stick. While the bunny dries, paint 3 of your plastic eggs with your metallic gold paint until they have a smooth, chrome-like finish. Once the bunny is dry, take a damp paper towel and lightly dab small amounts of diluted brown paint, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon, into the crevices of the bunny's fur and ears to create a weathered stone look, wiping away the excess so it only stays in the deep spots. Next, use a dry brush or a small sponge to lightly fleck gold paint onto the bunny's body, mimicking the expensive gold leafing seen on high-end decor. To finish, hot glue the 3 gold eggs into the bunny's paws or arms and tuck small snipped blossoms from your floral stems around the eggs to create a lush, nested look. The contrast of the matte stone texture against the shiny gold eggs is what gives it that triple-digit price tag appearance. To create this high-end West Elm dupe using Dollar Tree items, you'll focus on recreating the organic, found object look of their metallic stoneware collection. The secret to making it look expensive is avoiding Eastery colors and sticking to a sophisticated palette of crisp white, antique gold, and deep forest moss. Start by prepping your eggs. If they are bright colors, give them 2 solid coats of the white acrylic paint using a sponge brush to ensure there are no streaks, allowing them to dry completely between layers. Once the white base is matte and dry, create the gold leaf effect by dipping a dry, stiff bristled brush into the metallic gold paint and lightly dabbing it onto a paper towel until the brush is nearly dry. Use a flicking motion or light random taps to create irregular organic gold speckles and patches across the surface of the eggs, mimicking the look of aged gold foil. While the eggs dry, prepare the base by filling your silver bowl with the Spanish moss, fluffing it up so it spills slightly over the edges for a lush, high-end feel. Once the eggs are ready, nestle them into the moss, stacking a few in the center to create height and dimension just like the West Elm original. Finally, tuck a few faux pearls into the crevices of the moss to add a touch of boutique elegance. This small detail provides the refined finish that distinguishes a store-bought look from a standard craft project. To bring this high-end Easter cloche to life without the home goods price tag, you'll need to head to the seasonal and housewares aisles of your local Dollar Tree. To begin, ensure your wood charger is clean and dry. If you want a more raw look like the original, you can lightly sand the edges of a Dollar Tree wood circle. Start by dry fitting your largest bunny in the center and the smaller ones slightly to the front and side to create a natural tiered composition. Once you are happy with the placement, apply a generous bead of hot glue to the bottom of each figurine and press them firmly onto the wood base. Next, snip small clusters of flowers from your floral stems and glue them behind and around the bunnies to create a lush, growing effect, making sure to keep the florals low enough so the cloche lid can still fit over them. Add a few decorative eggs or a touch of moss to hide any visible glue spots or gaps on the base. Finally, carefully lower your clear dome over the arrangement. If it feels loose, you can add a tiny dot of clear glue to the rim to secure it, and place your new designer centerpiece on your entry table or mantle. To create the high-end look seen in the Chateau Home Dupe, you can transform humble Dollar Tree supplies into a sophisticated centerpiece using neutral tones and varied textures. To make this high-end Chateau dupe, you will need 1 willow or grapevine wreath to act as the nest base, 1 bag of Spanish moss or reindeer moss for a natural interior texture, and 1 package of plastic or foam Easter eggs. You will also need 1 or 2 floral stems with small delicate blossoms like cherry blossoms or hydrangeas, and a small bunch of slender gold or brown branches, which can often be found in the floral or seasonal section. To elevate the eggs, you'll need a small bottle of pearlized or cream acrylic paint or a stone textured spray if you have it on hand. Begin by preparing your eggs to move away from the plastic look. Apply 2 thin coats of pearlized cream or off-white acrylic paint to the eggs and let them dry completely until they have a soft, expensive-looking sheen. While the eggs dry, take your willow wreath and gently pull at the inner branches to create a slightly recessed bowl shape in the center. Then hot glue a generous handful of Spanish moss into this center cavity to create a soft bedding. Next, disassemble your floral stems by clipping off the individual small blossoms and set aside the most delicate-looking ones. Create the height of the arrangement by hot gluing 3 to 4 slender wispy branches into the back side of the nest so they stand upright like a natural thicket. Arrange 3 to 5 of your painted eggs in the center of the moss, gluing them at slight angles to look like a real bird's nest. Finally, tuck the small silk blossoms around the base of the eggs and onto the standing branches, securing them with tiny dots of hot glue to mimic fresh spring growth. For a final professional touch, you can add a small DIY cardstock tag tied with twine to the side of the nest. Love the looks we have offered? Please consider subscribing to help us build our channel to add the newest and most luxurious high-end products to dupe on a budget. To complete this craft, you will need 1 white metal wire basket, 2 bunches of white faux tulips, 2 bunches of light blue faux hydrangeas, 1 pack of plastic or foam paintable Easter eggs, a small bottle of matte chalk paint in cornflower blue and cream, 1 pack of adhesive pearl wrap or flat back pearls, and a block of green floral foam. These items work together to mimic the luxury textures of a boutique floral arrangement. Start by preparing your eggs, as they require time to dry. Paint half of the eggs with the matte cream paint and the other half with the light blue chalk paint. Using a sponge brush will help achieve a smooth, ceramic finish without brush strokes. Once the eggs are completely dry, use your hot glue gun or the adhesive backing to apply pearl accents in a decorative ring around the center of a few eggs or in a scattered polka dot pattern for that high-end French look. Next, cut your floral foam to fit snugly inside the metal basket and begin by tucking the blue hydrangeas around the outer rim of the basket to create a lush, full base that overflows slightly over the edges. Insert the white tulips into the center of the foam, keeping them at varying heights to mimic a natural garden growth, with the tallest ones in the very center. Finally, nestle your pearl-encrusted eggs into the nest created by the hydrangeas and tulips, securing them with a dab of hot glue if necessary to ensure they sit prominently at the front. The contrast of the industrial white wire with the soft pearls and silk petals creates a shabby chic masterpiece that looks like it was flown in from a Parisian market.